Hello, friend. Welcome to Things That Make You Go Ew, where we talk about the stories in the scriptures that really do make you go ew, and we are going to try to explain them. So today we are diving right into one of the most ew parts of the Old Testament, which is Jacob waking up the day after his wedding and realizing he married the wrong sister. Which seriously, how? How did that happen?
I don't understand.
And I mean, we've all asked that question. So today, let's see if we can figure it out. And I have 3 pieces of evidence that might help explain Jacob's huge mistake. They might. They might not, but they might. So the first thing I want to do is just give a little bit of history in case you're not familiar with this story. So Jacob was engaged to Rachel, and he worked for 7 long years before he was allowed to marry her. But then the day of the wedding, his future father-in-law does a little switcheroo and replaces Rachel with her less attractive sister Leah. And Jacob doesn't realize it until the morning after. Like, how awkward is that? Okay, so let's dive into the evidence for why this was even possible. How could this happen? So number 1, Jacob might not have known Rachel as well as we think he did, even though he'd spent all of those years working to marry her. So let's step back a bit. Even though we know that Rachel and Jacob, they really did have a loving marriage, it might not have started out as a marriage based on much more than attraction. Might not. Because, see, Isaac had told Jacob to leave home, and he said, go find a wife from among the daughters of his brother-in-law, Laban. And when Isaac got there, when Jacob got there, Laban had 2 daughters. There was the beautiful Rachel and the tender-eyed Leah. And Jacob pretty immediately chose the prettier sister.
I would do the same thing without hesitation.
And then the scriptures tell us that he loved her. And that word love in Hebrew is ahab, and it's open to a lot of interpretation. It's kind of like how in English, I can say that I love Reese's peanut butter cups. I really do. But I also can say I love my husband. And those 2 types of love are nowhere near each other. But Reese's really do sound good right now. So this love that Jacob had could have meant that Jacob thought Rachel was a cutie, or it could have meant that he really loved her as a person. We just don't know. But we do get a hint that his love might have initially been more based on attraction, because when Jacob's 7 years of service were up, he told Laban, quote, give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her. And just in case there are kids in the room, I am not going to explain what that means, but you know.
I don't get it.
So the first piece of evidence is that Jacob might not have really known Rachel all that well until after they were married. All right, evidence number 2 is that Jacob didn't spend a lot of time with Leah after the wedding, and then before the actual wedding night, he might have gotten a little bit tipsy. So after my husband and I got married, we were like stuck to each other like glue. We were looking into each other's eyes. We were giggling. We were hugging. We were talking about how we would love each other for eternity. I'm sure we were absolutely nauseating.
It's true.
But that doesn't seem to be how things worked after Jacob and Leah's wedding. So there was a big wedding reception after, but the bride wasn't invited, which is awkward in and of itself. But it was a party only for men, and the scriptures refer to it as a mishteh, which can also be interpreted as a drinking party. So Jacob wouldn't have seen his lovely and unveiled bride between the wedding and the wedding night, and by the time he got to his tent, he might not have had the clearest head. Okay, so our last bit of evidence, number 3, is that the scriptures make it really clear that it was evening time when Jacob went into his tent to spend the night with his new wife. Evening time in the desert, very dark. And tradition also holds that there might not have even been lighted candles allowed in the tent. So Jacob would have figuratively and literally been in the dark.
Cool. No, not cool.
And so there you have it. 3 pieces of evidence that might explain why Jacob was able to be tricked into marrying the wrong sister. It's still ew, but it's now also a little bit aha. So if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I will see you later.